Let's talk about time out for children. What's it mean? When do we do it? How do we do it? What's it look like? In the old days, in the 50s, you would see a child sitting in the corner with a dunce hat on his head in school. That was called timeout. We don't do that anymore. Sending a kid to the corner, old-fashioned punishment. We don't do that anymore, right? But the new terms are we do timeout. But what is timeout? Why do we do it? So usually it's when you have that child who's 2 years old and at least he knows how to sit, right? Let me explain something to you. And this is just my opinion, but if your child is mature enough and old enough to understand that timeout means you did something wrong, go sit in that chair and don't get out till I tell you, and then he goes and he sits in the chair, I don't know. I think we're missing a valuable opportunity here. Rather than let him sit and feel that he's not a good kid, he did something wrong and it felt right, but it was wrong. Rather than time out, I heard somebody say the other day, do a time in. I love it. What was it? It was from the people who wrote the book, Holding On to Your Child. Look it up. It's a good book. Not everything in that book do I agree with. Not everything in my book, the parenting manual, will you agree with. But if you did, you're like robots going through life. You have to use your instincts when you're raising your children because you're the expert on your child. You know their personality, right? But let them have their personality. A lot of times when we have a child, we don't realize that they're going to bring chaos to our ordered life. That's what they're supposed to do. Why? Because they're explorers. Everything's new. They pick up a vase. They learn about gravity really fast. Oh my goodness, look how many pieces this broke into, right? They don't even realize it's sharp. They know nothing. Everything's brand new. They're explorers. It's our job to make sure that the house is safe and their environment is safe so that they can explore. But they're also exploring their behaviors of what's right and what's wrong. So why punish them? Teach them. They're in the exploring stage. Don't take a time out. Take a time in. A time in to sit down and say, hey, look at me. Look at me. If they're mature enough to go and sit in a chair, they're mature enough to look at you. And if they're defiant right then and they don't look at you, make pretend they are. Don't take their head and do like that. No. Look at me. And then make pretend they are and say, good. Listen to me. What you did hurt your friend or your brother. And I know you weren't feeling good at that time. Validate his feelings. Validate that he was angry. Validate that it's okay to be angry and I get it. It's just not okay to hurt somebody else, right? Validate the fact that you wanted that cookie, right? And I said, sorry, it's right before dinner, and he cries, and you could say, hey, I get that you're mad. I would be mad too if I wanted a cookie and someone said no. But you still can't have the cookie, because I need you to eat the right foods. The cookie comes later. I'm not being a permissive parent by acknowledging their feelings. I'm not giving him the cookie. I'm just giving him the right to be angry. I'm just giving him the right to cry. I'm going to stop making dinner for a second. I'm going to sit down with him and I'm going to say, you want me to hold you while you cry? A time in, right? He might say no. I said, that's okay. Is it okay if you cry in the other room while I'm making dinner? Because I want to feed you. I know you're hungry, right? Acknowledge it. Work with him. It's not being permissive. It's being accepting of who he is. We don't want to stifle who he is. We don't want to say who you are is wrong, because then he's going to grow up and say, who am I? Who I am was wrong. So, we don't want this. We want him to explore inside, outside, and we want to make it a safe place emotionally, physically. That's who we are as parents. Who am I? I'm Bubbie. That's your Bubbie Pin for today. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and catch you another day.